Alright, in this video I'm going to show you Vim macro, and with the help of a plugin to make things easy. It is comparatively easy by default in Vim to create macro and manipulate, but this plugin come to my notice and I've been using it for quite some time, so I thought to share it with you people, so it might be helpful to you. What it does, it makes the macro related stuff much more user friendly and easier to deal with. So that's the purpose of this video, to make you use the vim macro for automation and do a lot of repetitive stuff or manipulative stuff with ease. Okay, so without further ado, let me get into let me open a file. I have a file which are having I'm sorry, this is a file which is having all the HTTP, Apache web server related error status code. On the left hand side you see the numerics, which are the status numeric value of the status code on the right. So basically it's Apache web server status. It's just a file in my system. I just choose it to show you how you can get along with the macros with the help of that particular plugin. Okay, so for instance, and for no apparent reason, and for the demonstration purpose, so if I want to record a macro, because as I say to you, I've been using this plugin, and it certainly changed the keystroke, the normal way Vim user access it. We access it with Q, right, and the register, and to play with it at L something. Those are the very basic default to Vim macro. Because I'm using this particular plugin, they have changed it to GQ as a toggle to start and stop the play. Okay, and various other key combination which I have inducted in my vim-rc to get along with the macro. To start with that, say for instance, I want to add at the end of the word, this is a demo. This is the simplest possible way, right? You could write a number of complex stuff, but I try to just to show you how you could do that. Okay, so I have to press GQ. Look at the bottom of the screen. By default, this plugin will record the macro in register M. Okay, so now I've started the macro. Let me go to end of the line, then put myself in a insert mode and press double equal sign, then quotation, then say this is a macro demo. Okay, so, and then I go out of the insert mode, go to the next line, go to the beginning of line, and I end the macro with GQ. So it's done. The macro is recorded. What I did, go to the end of the line, get myself into the insert mode, put double equal sign, and write within the code, this is a macro demo. Go out of the insert mode, go to the next line and beginning of the line, then the macro ends. Now with this plugin, all I have to play the macro, all I have to do, press Q. So if I press Q, see, it happened. Did you notice? Okay, you might be notice if I do it en masse. Let me select 10 lines and press Q. See, now you see the macro is working, right? Now I have bounded the key as per the instruction for that particular plugin, with, as I said again and again in my backlog videos, that I try to give the keystroke as meaningful name as possible. Okay, if not accurately, at least I try to make the mnemonics or keystroke as close as to the functionality, so it will be easier to remember. Okay, now I have created a macro, so maybe I can use it on somewhere else, right? I know a lot of other things popped up into your head, but I know all this stuff, but I'm deferring and not delving into that. I'm clearly focusing here to do the macro for the specific purpose. Okay, to save the created macro, all I have to do, leader mn, I'm sorry, look at the bottom of the screen. I press leader mn. That means it is prompting me the macro I have created to give it a name to refer back in later section. Okay, so I add the macro name, added text at the end. See, I'm just trying to write as explicit as possible. Added text at the end. That's what. If I press enter, and now it is asking whether you want this macro to have a parameter, and I haven't passed it. You could do that with that plugin, the plugin I'm using. I'll give you all the details about the plugin I'm using. Okay, so I do not, at this moment, I do not need the parameter to be passed with this particular plugin, with this particular macro I have created, right? So I press N, so the macro gets created with the name added text at the end. You can see at the bottom, right? Saved macro with the name. Super handy, right? We know we can do this kind of stuff in other popular editor with these, and I have shown it to you before, or if I haven't, I'll show you in some other time. But here in this editor you could do that. Okay, so good. Now if I wanted to see if I wanted to see what are the macro I have, so let's create another macro. Okay, so it will get populated, so it will be easier to demonstrate other functionality. Okay, so I start the macro with GQ. You see it is again recording on, as I said, in default register aim. So for instance, I get into a insert mode and I write second one, then give a space I just write the word second, okay, give a space, then I go out of the insert mode, go to the next line, go to the beginning of line, then I end the macro. Okay, now if I run the macro, you see the word second get prepended with the line, right? If I do 10q, you see the word second get prepended with the 10 line I have selected. I have provided 10 as a prefix to run this macro. Okay, now again I'm going to save the macro with the name. All I have to do, leader mn, look at the bottom. Okay, it is prompting me for the name. So if I write second macro, although it is not very intuitive, or I could have write easily text added at the beginning. It's big, but it's very explicit, right? Okay, again I have to say no because it doesn't take any parameter. So you can see at the bottom of the screen that the macro gets recorded, text added at the beginning. Okay, so now if you want to see what are the macro you have already saved, all you have to do, leader ms, this plugin require you have to have FZF plugin installed. This is what it pops up a window, FZF window, with you can select it, right? You can see the selection get focused with the help. If I use the keys, the particular I have created 2 macro which are showing it here, right? Very nice. You can save this if these macros are saved, so you can use it whenever you like with this, right? Think about it, if there are 15 different macro, you can easily enlist and choose the macro format. Okay, so very nice. To dismiss this, just press an escape, it'll just go away. Now to know the history about the macro you have created, just use leader mh. Look at the bottom of the screen. This is these are the history of the macro. Okay, so how you have created the stuff. The latest one in, look at the m beside the macro, that's the latest one. Okay, all right. Sorry. Now say for instance, if you wanted to execute the particular macro, all you have to do, leader me, it will ask you which one you want to execute. If I press, see my selection is there. If I select the first one, if I press enter, it gets added, right? So now if you want, this is super handy, right? And you could do several other things with this particular plugin installed. Okay, so this plugin is called vim-macros. Okay, so if I go here, This is the plugin Macrobatics.vim. You can easily find it on GitHub. I will give you the link in the description section below so you can easily find it out. This is a wonderful plugin which I have been using, and it really helped to get along with the macro related stuff. It clearly explains, as I said to you, right? I didn't change what they have said. By default it works fine with me, right? So you can move along with the macro with the left bracket and M, right bracket and M. As you can see, when I show you the history, you can move between the macros like this. Okay, you can append and prepend. Like, we generally do the macros by putting it into a capital letter register, right? If we have already created a macro, and if we want to append something or prepend something, it's a general rule that we put in a capital letter register, right? So likewise, they have provided, this plugin has provided a function. If you run leader MA, it will append. Leader MP, it will prepend. I like the mnemonics, the keyword they have used, which is very closed and tell you what the keystrokes means. It's supposed to be like that. Okay, so you can save your macro as I shown to you with a name. Okay, that's what I did. Leader MN, which will prompt me to save the name, save the macro with a particular name. Okay, you can do it for the specific file type. You can select, as I shown to you, from the FZF window. Okay, so this plugin has been well thought out, and you can override the already recorded macro with leader MO. You can delete it. These are very trivial stuff, right? If I write -md, if I do leader MD, see, it will ask me which one I want to delete. So if I press enter, the selected one, look at the bottom of the screen. Let me zoom in for you a little bit. So okay, while zooming it's gone. So let me do it again. Leader MD. So it is the only one, the previous one get deleted once I did that, but while zooming the message went away, so I'm doing it again. So if I press enter, look at the bottom of the screen, it is deleted the macro with the name of that selected stuff. It makes things very easy, very intuitive. Okay. I'm sorry. Now these are the configuration they have mentioned, and I try to keep it as what they have said, because I don't find anything required to be tweaked, because as I said, it seems is pretty well thought out while giving the names related to this particular action. So you can rename, you can delete, you can execute directly, you can select, okay, you can override. So these things might be additional stuff you can add it to your vim-macros, which will enhance your experience with this plugin, which I did, and they have given the expression. So please go through it if you wanted to use this. Why I am bringing this? Because I have been using it myself for quite some time, and it makes the things easy for me. It certainly changed the default keybinds for the macro, the way we use in Vim, but it's all right, because you are getting enhanced stuff with ease. So you'll get used to it like every other thing in Vim. It's not a big deal if you decided to give it a shot and start using it for a long time. You'll do the things again and again and again, so it get etched into your memory, right? Like every other thing we do in Vim, it is not exception, the same thing, but it has got so many stuff with a particular key attached to it. It's very easy, and as I shown to you before in my backlog, you build a Vim help system which will remind you if you forgot that, because so many keys are there, right? So likewise, so if I bring up my help system like just pressing the leader key, and it will bring up. Now if I type macro, see the line gets highlighted. It provides me a quick glimpse if I forgot what key needs to be pressed for specific action. It will provide me a suggestion or show me explicitly what I need to do. You can see the line gets highlighted where I just typed the macro. It provides me all the information if I forgot anything. It happened with every other thing we do in this editor or any other editor. You should build a help system which keeps reminding you, or you can call it when you require it the most. I have a detailed video about getting the help system for Vim and Emacs in the past. You should go out and check that video to find out how you could build the easy help system which will assist you to gain more and get it efficiently when you need it most. Okay, so all I'm trying to say, I have been personally using this plugin. Okay, I have handful of plugins. It is one of them, and I have been using it for some time, and it is providing a great benefit to me. I'm just suggesting, I'm not forcing you to choose it. You might give it a shot. If you feel comfortable, you use it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't use it. As simple as that. I do the same. Okay, so I thought it would be a good thing to share with people what I'm getting benefit out of something. Some people have put some effort to get things more apparent and easy for the lesser mortal like us. So that's why I'm bringing this. I'm trying to show you. I have shown you some rudimentary stuff. You could do a lot of other things, as you can see, or if you go through this page, you can find it yourself. Maybe interpret it and do it more enhanced stuff according to your environment and need. Okay, I hope this will give you some sort of enhancement or enlightenment to use the macros efficient way inside Vim. But before I leave you, it's a heads up. Don't do something if something is available to you and you can do it. Don't do something for the sake of do something. If it is actually required you, then please embrace it. If it doesn't, there is no point spending time behind it, right? So don't do something for the sake of doing. Okay, so thanks for watching.